Marina Mabrey, who knocked Caitlin Clark down. I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye. Cheap shots can't be happening, and it always happens. No. Caitlin is certainly going to be a storyline. She's a star. She's a dog. And WNBA seemingly on the rise.
Marina Mabrey thought she could cheap shot Caitlin Clark and get away with it. But she forgot one thing. Sophie Cunningham was watching.
Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. I'm happy she's got Sophie on the team.
Yep.
She needed that.
In a game full of chaos, it wasn't the foul that made headlines. It was the way Caitlin clapped back with logo threes and pure fire, while Sophie sent a loud message. Mess with Caitlin and you'll pay. Comment CC 100% if you're riding with Caitlin Clark.
She's one. She is a needle mover.
Caitlin is the one.
No comparison to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the most must-watch basketball player in world basketball right now. There's nobody that does what Caitlin Clark does.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world.
How special and rare Caitlin Clark is.
It all started with a dirty play that went viral for all the wrong reasons.
Caitlin Clark was just assaulted. Bad. This is the worst one ever, bro. She was literally poked in the eye, then pushed to the ground by Marina Mabrey.
J.C. Sheldon of the Connecticut Sun didn't just defend Caitlin Clark, she gouged her in the eye.
The Fever and the Connecticut Sun got into it a little bit last night. Obviously, it all started with an eye gouge into a knockdown from J.C. Sheldon.
Caitlin is up there with the MVP, probably with Big Feast out in Minnesota.
I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye.
Yeah, big time.
Gouged in the eye.
It was an intentional eye gouge.
A move that instantly raised eyebrows. But what happened next took things to another level. As Caitlin tried to recover from the poke, Marina Mabrey came in and knocked her to the ground with a blatant, unnecessary hit.
Marina Mabrey, who knocks her down.
Mabrey just goes and shoves her onto the ground.
Marina Mabrey, this is ridiculous.
And the footage doesn't lie. A fan cam caught it crystal clear.
Marina Mabrey basically just did what Kennedy Carter did on a whole nother level.
A full contact smack to the face, followed by a shove that sent Caitlin crashing down.
Mind you, J.C. Sheldon has been hitting Caitlin in the face all game, fouling all game. The refs don't care. The refs act like their whistles are broke. She's fouling her nonstop again, hits her in the face.
This wasn't basketball. It was targeted, personal, and dangerous. Pat McAfee didn't hold back either. On his show, he called it out for what it was, a cheap shot. Not tough defense, not a hard foul.
Marina Mabrey, who knocks her down. I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye.
Intentional assault on the league's biggest name. Boom, right in the eye, he said, reacting to the fan cam clip. She's going to have to wear goggles the rest of the season. It wasn't just him either. Everyone on the panel agreed. This wasn't just physical play. It was a hit job.
J.C. Sheldon has to be ejected. If J.C. Sheldon intentionally scratches somebody in the eye, there's no question about that. That is intentional. If you want to call Mabrey's a flagrant one, call it a flagrant one. Mabrey's should have been a flagrant two. But J.C. Sheldon's is, no question about it, ejection and suspension.
And the worst part? Caitlin's been dealing with this since day one. As McAfee pointed out, last season, nobody stepped in to protect her. Her teammates stayed silent.
So many of these incidents are happening towards Indiana Fever players, particularly Caitlin Clark.
Opponents got bolder. They pushed, grabbed, hacked, and nobody answered. But not this time. Caitlin might have been hit hard, but this time, she didn't just stand up. She stood tall. She didn't complain. She didn't cry to the refs.
She's the one.
Yeah.
She is everything. She'll get after the refs. She'll get into some scraps. And immediately afterwards, she said, I'm here to talk about basketball. I mean, she's a needle mover.
Instead, she responded like a star by going straight back into the game, pulling up from deep beyond the arc and splashing it in Sheldon's face. And if that wasn't enough, she turned to the Connecticut bench and talked her talk. That's Caitlin Clark. You try to break her, she breaks you instead. This wasn't just a foul. This was a message.
Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And J.C. Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
And Caitlin answered it with fire.
Caitlin Clark, because obviously she's a scorer, she can shoot from anywhere, but her passes, like, it's something very different as well. Like, if you're playing with the Joker, LeBron, Luka, those stuff, like, you got to catch and finish. I mean, that's 4 or 5 more assists, obviously 10, 12, however many more points.
Fever team's filled with stars.
Oh, yeah.
For months, fans and analysts have begged for one thing: someone, anyone, to step up and protect Caitlin Clark. Because let's be real, she's been getting targeted since the moment she stepped onto a WNBA court. The pushing, the trash talk, the elbows after the whistle. Everyone saw it, but for the longest time, nobody on her team did a thing. Until now. Enter Sophie Cunningham, and Pat McAfee made it very clear. Sophie didn't just show up to play basketball. She showed up to make statements.
The Fever know that they're targets.
Yeah.
Caitlin understands it at this point, and I love that she is yet to waver. It's just like, we're singular focus of next game, I'm getting better.
The moment Marina Mabrey and JC Sheldon tried to rough up Caitlin,
JC Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face. There's one. Going for the ball, swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin's gonna have to start wearing goggles. And then Caitlin pushes her off of her, like, why are you still in my face? Marina Mabrey, bat out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground.
Sophie made it clear that those days are over. Pat said it himself. You poke her in the eye, then push her into the floor? Boom, I'll take the take foul, and you'll eat the deck. That's not just defense. That's a message to the entire league. If you come for Caitlin, there will be consequences. Sophie is more than just tough. According to McAfee, she was a black belt by the age of 6.
She's got an enforcer on the team now, and a black belt having Sophie Cunningham.
And she's brought that fighter mentality into the W. The second that hit happened, she was barking, snapping back at the Sun players, grabbing heads, holding her ground under the hoop. She didn't hesitate. No confusion, no looking at the refs, no backing down. She played the role Caitlin desperately needed all last season, an enforcer.
Is that like who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah.
Just like Dennis Rodman did for MJ. Just like Udonis Haslem did for D-Wade. Just like James Johnson does for Halliburton. That's Sophie now. She's not just a teammate. She's security. And Pat McAfee loved every second of it. He compared her role to having a goon on the team, not in a negative sense, but in the way every championship caliber team has that one player you don't mess with, especially when you've got the league's most valuable asset, the golden goose, as he said. And Caitlin Clark is exactly that.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from 3. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from 3-point range.
When MJ got harassed by the Detroit Pistons, his teammates started playing by the Jordan rules. Now it feels like Sophie just invented the Clark rules. Sophie isn't just stepping up. She's changing the culture in Indiana. She's made it crystal clear. The Fever are no longer a team that gets bullied. They're a team that fights back. She saw Caitlin Clark get disrespected and didn't hesitate to do something about it. That kind of energy is contagious. It fires up the bench. It gets the crowd going. It builds trust in the locker room, and it sends a league-wide warning that Caitlin Clark is no longer alone. For the first time in Caitlin's young WNBA career, she's got someone in the trenches with her.
Double team, step back, sideways.
Fuck yeah.
How you doing? Keep it moving. Then how about her to the bench afterwards with a?
You like that?
Yeah, it was a. You like that, but that last one right here, this is a.
Shoot.
She punches herself, and she basically says, like, yelling in the face, like, "Fuck with me," basically. It was awesome.
And that changes everything. You can see it in the way Caitlin carries herself now. Chest out, eyes locked in, fearless as ever. Because when you know someone's got your back, you play different. You play free. You play bold. And that's exactly what she's doing. Sophie's presence didn't just protect Caitlin. It unleashed her. This wasn't just a game. This was a shift, a declaration. The league better be paying attention, Because from here on out, it's not just Caitlin you've got to deal with. It's Caitlin and Sophie. Together, that's a problem nobody wants. The eye gouge, the shove, the cheap shot.
Marina Mabrey body checking Caitlin Clark to the ground. JC Sheldon all over her, riding her. Pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye.
Any other player might have folded under that pressure, especially someone just a year removed from college. But Caitlin Clark isn't just any player. She's a generational competitor, a killer with a smile, a silent assassin with a logo-range flamethrower.
It is undeniable that Caitlin Clark is the engine.
Caitlin Clark effect. There has been so much of an influx in attendance, in jersey sales, and viewership, all the things.
That's about star power, narrative, and likability.
Caitlin Clark comes into the WNBA, goes through college. She has panache. She has style.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
She's so good at basketball.
And the way she responded to everything thrown at her that night, it wasn't just impressive, it was legendary. The moment after taking the hit, she didn't complain. She didn't look for the refs. She didn't even flinch. Instead, she walked it off, stayed locked in, and waited for her moment. And when that moment came, she didn't miss. Double-teamed, fading sideways, step back three from the logo.
This is Caitlin Clark. She's going to hit a big three, and you can tell the emotions are high. The Indiana Fever announcers, I will give them credit. That incident with Sophie Cunningham is a direct byproduct of the fact that situation earlier was not handled correctly. It goes to talking shit towards the Connecticut Sun bench. That was a clear message from CC22 right there. This team's had enough.
Bang. No hesitation. No mercy. And then she turned to the Connecticut Sun bench and let them know exactly who she is. Not with words, but with fire in her eyes, a chest thump, and that now iconic, "You like that?" stare. Then came the punctuation mark. She punched her own chest, stared down the entire sideline, and shouted what the whole arena was thinking. "I'm the one."
Clark scored 32, dished out 9 assists to become the first player in WNBA history to have 100 points, 30 rebounds, 30 assists in a player's first 5 games of a season.
That moment wasn't just hype. It was a line in the sand, a clear message to every team, every critic, and every player still trying to test her. You can hit me, but you'll never break me. Pat McAfee couldn't get enough of it. He lit up on his show describing the entire sequence. Caitlin's swagger, her fire, her refusal to let the moment shrink her. He called her cutthroat, a star, and a dog. Not in the casual sense, but in that rare elite-level way that only a few athletes in the world embody. Jordan had it. Kobe had it. Steph still has it. And now Caitlin Clark has it too. Nobody wants.
There wasn't an explanation for the tech that she got. I think it was pretty obvious that stuff was brewing, right? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game. It's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete, and they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competitions.
But this wasn't just about the buckets. It was about the attitude. Last year, she took the hits quietly. She didn't respond. She tried to fit in, and people took advantage of that. But this year, she's different. She's no longer adjusting to the WNBA. She's owning it, taking it over, changing it from the inside out. Every shot she makes isn't just for points, it's a statement. And don't get it twisted. Her greatness isn't just raw talent.
I said earlier, Caitlin should just literally go overseas. There's a couple places overseas where they would pay her probably $2 or $3 million, maybe $5 million a year.
It's intelligence. She doesn't just shoot from deep because she can. She does it to shift the defense, stretch the floor, and create space for her teammates. She sees the game 5 steps ahead, like a chess master with a killer instinct. And when defenses collapse, her passes are lasers. McAfee pointed it out perfectly.
the jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a t-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, I mean, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning.
Her teammates just need to catch and finish. That's how sharp and fast her reads are. It's not just fans who are noticing. The media, the league, the players, they're all coming to terms with one reality. This is Caitlin Clark's league now. Not because she declared it, but because she's proving it. Every game, every shot, every time she steps on the court, the spotlight finds her, and she thrives under it. And here's the part people need to understand. This isn't just hype. This is history in motion.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. She's so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin's not chasing greatness. She's building it, brick by brick, logo 3 by logo 3, stare down by stare down. The cheap shots, the fouls, the hate, it all fuels her. Every time someone tries to knock her down, she responds by climbing higher. This moment, this rivalry, this fire, this energy, it's why the WNBA is shifting. It's why ratings are climbing. It's why the crowd gets louder every time she touches the ball. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the story. And now, with Sophie Cunningham guarding her 6, nothing is stopping her. You wanted drama? You got it. You wanted a hero? She's here. And her name is Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Marina Mabrey and J.C. Sheldon thought they could rattle Caitlin Clark with cheap shots and dirty fouls.
She looks like a varsity player going against JV. She had 5 rebounds in 19 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
5 rebounds in 19 seconds. I know everybody's saying, like, you shouldn't be able to do that, you're whatever the case. But imagine if she starts putting those in. I mean, that's going to be, she's potentially getting 40-40.
But all they did was wake up a monster. Caitlin didn't just answer with buckets. She responded with a fire that silenced an entire arena. And with Sophie Cunningham by her side, the message is loud and clear. Mess with Caitlin, and you'll deal with both of them.
She is just absolutely undeniable. Caitlin Clark was just different. Caitlin Clark is the system.
Caitlin Clark is
generational talent we've needed.
She is the system.
She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
This isn't last season's Caitlin. This is a leader, a fighter, and the face of a league that's finally waking up. So if you're with her, drop a CC 100% in the comments and let the world know.
Caitlin Clark is Indiana Fever's leading scorer at over 19 points a game. Caitlin Clark is undeniably the offensive engine.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Cannot deny the impact that she's made on this sport.
Caitlin Clark isn't backing down. She's just getting started.